Hey y'all! Here, let me just scoot around. Don't mind me. It's me, Lorena, founder of Passion and Growth, and Caroline and Bianca.
Hey.
We're back for another Self-Love Sunday. And do we have a good topic for you? Did that just remind you of, y'all know that song, It's Raining Men? No? Y'all aren't feeling? No, and it's, yes, that song. But it's like, and do we have something for you? Anyway.
Oh, does it
It
say
reminds me of the Rihanna one.
Yeah.
It's raining men, have you heard that one?
I don't.
No.
Anyway, do we have a? It's just a, she's.
Never
Do we
mind.
have a something for you?
Oh, no, I don't know.
Do we have a treat, a surprise? I don't know. We're gonna list it after this.
Okay.
To be determined. Okay, so today we are going to be talking about a topic that I think is near and dear to all of us, and probably is pretty relatable to a lot of people. But just the idea that sometimes it's hard to realize how far you've come. Like you set these goals for yourself, or you're going through a journey and you don't really realize how far it is, because when you're in the thick of it, when you're in the middle of it, sometimes it gets hard and difficult and you just don't know where to go, and the easier solution is to jump ship. But the idea that if you were to quit right now, you're going to end up right back where you were. And when you first started this journey, you were desperate to be where you are today, which is, I think, just a powerful thing to say, and something we just kind of wanted to talk about and kind of share how it's been present in our lives. So I think you had briefly talked about some situations, so I'll let you lead.
Yeah. So I just think it's really interesting because, so whenever we first, we were all kind of recent to Austin, or recently moved to Austin, and we ended up all meeting at the same night, and
Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween night, just out on the bar crawl, literally out to party. And
Downtown Austin.
Yeah, and we didn't really expect to I think we've talked about this before. We didn't really expect to meet really good friends or people that we would really click with, which was really great. Obviously, meeting everyone, meeting good friends here. But it's just interesting because I was just talking to them about kind of recently before we had met, I had just started getting into self work and just trying to better myself and get past some stuff that was holding me back from forever, as long as I can remember, and I didn't realize it. But it was just really interesting to me because I just started getting into that, and then I met them almost immediately after, and every time we hang out we have these kind of conversations, and so it's just interesting how I guess once you start going into one direction, you're opened up to other opportunities that help you forward in that direction as well. Not to get super I don't know, hip or spiritual, whatever, but it's almost it's once you put something out there, it's you're gonna get that in return.
Right.
So
And just because you haven't met your ultimate goal doesn't mean you have to quit. Because I know we were just talking about how that can be related to anything: work, fitness, mental health. That you're not 100% at your final goal, but there are times when you're like, man, I'm not there.
I'm beat.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
I want to give up. I want to give up so bad. I've had that so many times, even at, I don't know, fitness. I've been I went to the gym once.
all the time.
I'm not I don't have a six pack. I'm done. I'm over it.
Yeah.
But you're one step closer than you were before. So if
Right.
you were to completely revert back, you would have lost all that progress. Even if you hadn't made it all the way to the end, you would have lost every little step you took. And you would have lost, for example, our mental health journey we were talking about. We would have lost our friendships. If we wouldn't have continued on that, we would have been nope, done. Whatever, mental health, I'm over it. You would have lost all of that progress.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Yeah.
it's hard. It's
Yeah.
hard to just say, let's push forward. Because there are those moments, I don't know if you guys have had it, but I'm dude, it's been a hard week. It's been a hard week. I just want to give up. I want to sit down and I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah. That's something that it's kind of interesting to me though, because say working out versus mental health, I feel because you do have those weeks where you're just so busy with work or friends or family, whatever, you're just so consumed by something else,
Right.
that by the end of the week you're just tired. You just want to chill and just not think about anything.
Right.
I feel like gym is totally, like, going and working out is kind of different because, like, if you take a couple of days off, like, you're really setting yourself back, which is kind of why I've given up. I'm just like, oh, it's a lot of effort. And I'm like, as long as I feel good, then that's good enough for me. I don't care about having a six-pack because, like, it's a lot of effort. It's too much. And also, I like a lot of food, so I'm not giving that up. But I feel like with mental health, it's like,
But it's kind of the same if you like
yeah,
take a couple days off of like
you
working
need
on your
that.
mental health.
Yeah,
But if you take a couple days off to revert back to where you initially were, where it's that negative
right.
mental health,
Oh yeah,
then
totally.
you're setting yourself back
Yeah,
to like
yeah.
zero.
And that's something that I've actually been trying to focus on a lot too, because I think like initially one of the things that was hard for me was I was like too I was almost like anxious about giving myself some time to like have a break. And I would always be like, I have to be getting better, I have to be working on something, like I have to be like, I'm not gonna waste time, whatever.
I can relate to that.
But now it's like, all right, like if I listen to my body a lot more, so it's like if I know I just need to chill and like rest, then that's part of the like mental health journey also.
Well, it's part of self-care, you know.
Totally.
Self-worth and self-care are very intimately intertwined, and that's definitely, I think, part of it.
Yeah, for sure. Which is nice, because it's not like necessary to like constantly be working on it. Sometimes you do need a break.
It's hard. I mean, this, you know, going on the journey of like personal development and self-love, and, you know, my journey started, I don't know, several years ago, but I think about this every now and then because just like I said, like it does get hard. There are still some days that I'm like, oh, it still requires so much work and effort to constantly like be sure that you're putting like your best foot forward for yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still days that, you know, my mindset is just not where it needs to be. Or, you know, the big thing for me was I used to be really, really anxious. And I still am sometimes, not to the degree that it was, but I can tell now, like sometimes like if I'm going through one of those days where like I'm really anxious and like I've tried all the things I try, like journaled, I've danced, I've talked about it, like I've done all the things and I'm like, but I'm still anxious.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, like I've put in all this work and like I'm still anxious. I still can't like, you know, have control over that. Like I've told myself, you know, the reasons why I'm anxious are probably not that, you know, I've done it all. And like in those moments, I'm just like, it's easy to like kind of beat yourself up. Like you haven't come as far as you thought. And, you know, it's still, I don't know. You just get in this like mental, like downward spiral of like, you're anxious, you've tried all the things, you can't get out of it. And now suddenly you're spiraling about everything. Like, am I good enough, you know, for my partner? Am I good enough? Especially for me in these moments, like, why am I starting my own business? Like, I don't know what I'm doing. And, you know, I just go down this whole spiral. And then,
and once it starts, it's just like,
it's,
oh God,
you
really got to work to pull yourself out. It's like nonstop.
And this happened a couple weeks ago, and I was like, what is going on? And then, like, I kind of caught myself because I started going down a spiral, just like I said, about, like, my business. I'm like, what am I doing? You don't know what you're doing. You've never started a business. You don't blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, Lorena, stop it. And then I kind of did have that moment of, like, look at where you are today compared to where you were. Like, the person you were 2.5, 3 years ago could not even fathom the thought that you are in this spot right now, like, talking to other people about self-worth and self-love and making a business and coming out on the other end. We're like, yes, am I anxious some days? Sure, some days I am, but it is not every day of every second. And like, that's what's important. So it goes right back to the concept of like, if I were to quit now and like go back to that person I was, like when I was that girl, when I was 28 years old and in the middle of self like hatred and didn't even know like what I wanted in my life, like I would have given anything in the world to be where I'm at right now. And that realization of myself was enough, I think, to snap out of that. Like, I get that right now you're having a tough time, and like that's okay. You can have a hard moment. You can be anxious, and you can also appreciate how far you've come.
That's amazing.
Whew. Like, we went to church.
That was good. That was good. I think that's the end. We nailed it,
cut. All right. Okay, I think that's on that note. Thank you for joining us again today. As always, we appreciate any feedback, any questions. We would love to answer your questions live. So be sure just to reply back to the emails and let us know what you want to hear. Thank you guys so much. Have a good night.
Bye.